Hello, welcome back. 7 p.m. Cheers. It's been a very hot day again, like 30 degrees the whole day. But I have to close the door now because I like to read this MIG-21 operators. I had used this camcorder today, so it's not so much more, but I forgot what I was recording. I don't know what I had used this. Okay, that was sub-pedal boards for water. Inflatables, sub-pedal, like surfboards with air inside. You can standing on waters and pedal. I made a video about it, 1 hour in my language tennis. That was 1 year, 2 months ago, 14 months ago. I like to buy a sub-pedal board and go out the water. And rubber boats. But I have this debt problems every month. I have to pay $100 to my debt. Not $100, $1,000, $1,000 American dollars every month to my debts. And tax debts, so I only have few $100 left. But I'm working on to get my debts down to zero. My credit card payments need to go down to zero. I'll not spend any money. This month I'm not spending any money. So my payment next month, September, will drop a little bit. It's the 21 tomorrow. Friday I will get a little YouTube money. But I need to spend $140 to buy a new external hard drive. I have to do that every month because I'm recording so much video. I like to save a copy. And this is not super important. I just like to read about it because the Russians and the Soviet Union, they are using their fighter jets and weapons to get political influence in different kind of governments in like Africa and in Asia, some poor countries. But Americans, they're doing exactly the same, and the Chinese are making good fighter jets. They're making good aircrafts, and Russia, they have making many thousands of fighter jets. Russia have more than 10,000 fighter jets. They have many thousand fighter jets, and they're still making new every week and month. They have big factories. They're making new fighter jets every month.
List of Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-21 operators. Operators of the MiG-21 in 2017. Former operators in red. Captured aircraft only in green. Bulgarian Air Force Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-21 BIS. This article lists current and former operators of the Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-21. Current operators. Angola. Angolan MiG-21 BIS. Angolan Air Force, FAP-RDA. First MiG-21 deliveries to Angola included 12 MiG-21 MFs. delivered from the USSR starting in January 1976. They belonged to a unit entirely staffed by Cubans. 1. In 1981 to 1982, 20 MiG-21 PFM fighters were delivered second-hand from the USSR, as well as 2 MiG-21U trainers. 2. In 1983, 30 MiG-21 bis were delivered, followed by another 32 in 1984. 2 MiG-21R reconnaissance aircraft were also delivered during the same period. 3. They have been reported as having been phased out of service by 2007. 4. Although Flight International claimed that 23 MiG-21s remained active in December 2021. 5. MiG-21s served with the following units: SAD Smiley 4, 9th Fighter Training Squadron, 24th Air Instructional Regiment, 25th Air Combat Fighter Regiment, 11th Fighter Squadron, 12th Fighter Squadron, replaced by MiG-23 in 1987, 13th Fighter Squadron, replaced by MiG-23 in 1987. Little is known about the combat record of Angolan MiG-21s. On March 13, 1976, a pair of FAP-RDA MiG-21 MFs destroyed an Air Zaire Fokker F-27 on the ground at Lumbala Airport using S-24 rockets. 6. Several Angolan MiG-21 MFs are known to have been lost in air-to-air combat, all to the South African Air Force. The first was shot down on the 6th of November, 1981 by gunfire from a Mirage F-1CZ flown by Johan Rankin. 7. Another 2 MiG-21 MFs were damaged on the 5th of October, 1982, again by Mirage F-1CZs. Although both of them returned safely to their base, they were subsequently written off. 8. Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan Air Force. Around 12 received from Ukraine. 5 were reportedly based at Kidamir and towed withdrawn following purchase of MiG-29s. 9. But were still reported as being active in December 2021. 10. Croatia. Croatian Air Force MiG-21 UMD Croatian Air Force, HRZ. 3 MiG-21 bis were taken up following defections of Croatian pilots from the Yugoslav Air Force in 1992. These were supplemented by 23 more MiG-21 bis, 1 MiG-21 US and 3 MiG-21 UM acquired from former Soviet training units in Kyrgyzstan in 1993-1994. 11. 3 of these were lost in combat. 12. In 2003, 8 MiG-21 bis were upgraded to MiG-21 bis D standard by Aerostar in Romania, while 4 MiG-21 UMs, obtained from Kyrgyzstan via Aerostar, were upgraded to MiG-21 UMD standard. 13. In 2013, 3 Croatian MiG-21 bis and 4 MiG-21 UMDs were sent to Odessa in Ukraine for overhaul, with 5 more aircraft supplied by Ukraine and upgraded to MiG-21 bis D standard. 11 MiG-21s remain in service as of 2023. The Croatian Air Force has ordered 12 Dassault Rafales to replace the MiG-21, with their placement scheduled once the Rafales are delivered in 2024-25. 14. In 2003, MiG-21s were found with following units: ZB equals Zrakoplavna Baza Air Base, ELZ Eskadrila Lovak Zrakoplava Fighter Squadron, 15, 91 ZB/21 ELZ, Zagreb Pliso. Cuba. A left-side view of a Cuban MiG-21 fighter aircraft inside VF-45 hangar. It was flown to Key West on September 20, 1993 by a defecting Cuban pilot. Cuban Air Force. 40 MiG-21 F-13 and 2 MiG-21U were transferred to the Cuban Revolutionary Air and Air Defense Force. Darfur, in 1962. At least one squadron of MiG-21 PF was delivered in 1964, and either 24 or 36 MiG-21 PFM were received in 1966, 1967. 12 MiG-21R were delivered in 1968. 6 MiG-21MF were delivered between 1972 and 1974, some of these were sent to Angola. 80 MiG-21 bis, ISP-75O, were received from 1981. 5 MiG-21U, ISP-66 to 600, were delivered in 1966 and 20 MiG-21UM were delivered starting in 1968. According to Cuban sources, a total of 270 MiG-21s of all variants were received by Darfur. 11 MiG-21s are still operational. 16. In 1990, MiG-21s were known to be assigned to the following units at Smiley 15. 1 a Brigada de Guardia Batalladista Clara 11 O Regimiento de Casa, Santa Clara. 1110 Escuadrone. 1120 Escuadrone. 2 AM Brigada de Guardia Playa Jayan 22 A Regimiento de Casa, Barraco, 2210 Escuadrone. 2220 Escuadrone. 3 AM Brigada de Guardia Cuartel Moncada 31 Regimiento de Casa, Camagüey, 3110 Escuadrone. 3120 Escuadrone. Guinea. Air Force of Guinea, 8 MiG-21MF and 1 MiG-21U delivered in 1986. 5 restored to airworthy condition in Russia and returned to service. One of these crashed into a TV tower in 2007. 15. 3 still in service as of December 2021. 17. Guinea-Bissau. Air Force of Guinea-Bissau, 6 MiG-21MF and 1 MiG-21UM were delivered from Soviet surplus in late 1980s. All are in non-flying condition. 15. India. MiG-21 Type 77 of the Indian Air Force landing. Indian Air Force. India received its first MiG-21S in 1963, numbering 8 MiG-21 F-13s. 2 more F-13s and 2 MiG-21 PF were received in 1964, called the Type 74, 18, 19, and Type 76, 19, respectively in the IAF. The MiG-21 FL, or Type 77, was designed by Mikoyan to fulfill an Indian requirement, and this was the first version to be license-built in India by HAL. The first 54 of these were built and test-flown in the USSR, then dismantled and shipped to India for reassembly. The first one built completely from scratch in India was handed over to the IAF in October 1970. 15. All told, 205 MiG-21 FL were built in India, of which 196 were built entirely in India. The last MiG-21 FLs were retired in 2013. 20. In 1971, 65 MiG-21M were delivered to India. License production of an improved variant unique to India, designated MiG-21MF, Type 96, 21, began in 1973 and lasted until 1981. A total of 158 were built. The HAL MiG-21MF, Type 96, is not the same as the MiG-21MF, ISW 96, that was made in the USSR for export to other countries. 15. Kits for 75 MiG-21 bis ISW 75 were delivered in 1977, and by 1984, 220 more were built from scratch in India. Contracts were signed in 1996 to upgrade 125 MiG-21 bis, plus an option for 50 more, in a service life extension program to extend their useful life to 2017. The first 2 were upgraded by Sokol in Russia, the remainder by HAL. 94 were completed by January 2006. This upgraded version was known originally as MiG-21 UPG and finally as MiG-21 Bison. A total of 45 MiG-21U trainers, versions type 66/66A, off both ISDEL U-66 to 400 and 66 to 600 were delivered, including 5 bought from Ukraine in 1997. 70. IAF MiG-21 Bison MiG-21 UM trainers, versions type 69/69A/69A/69B, were received, including some received from Eastern Europe in the 1990 S.15. Squadrons known to operate the MiG-21 Bison include 3 SQN Cobras, number 4 Squadron IAF Orioles, 15 SQN Flying Lances, 21 SQN Ankush, 23 SQN Cheetahs, 24 SQN Hunting Hawks, 26 SQN Warriors, 32 SQN Thunderbirds, 35 SQN Rapiers, 37 SQN Black Panthers, 45 SQN Flying Daggers and 51 SQN Sword Arms. 15. India will retire the MiG-21 in 2025, being replaced with HAL Tejas aircraft. 22. Libya. Libyan Arab Air Force. In 1976, Libya ordered 64 MiG-21 BIS fighters and MiG-21 UM trainers. 9 of these were used to train and equip a force envisaged as the core of the future Palestinian Air Force, which would be established once Palestine would have been freed. 23. 33 MiG-21s were still in service in 2006 according to an Israeli intelligence report. Presently, there is 1 squadron, the 1021 ST based at Gamal Abdel Nasser AB near Tobruk, still operating MiG-21 BIS fighters and MiG-21 UM trainers. 15. In 2014, Egypt delivered 7 MiG-21 MFs to the Libyan National Army Air Force. 24. On the 6th of March 2016, 6 more ex-Egyptian Air Force MiG-21 MFs arrived at Gamal Abdel Nasser Air Base. 25. 26. Together with several other Libyan MiG-21s, these are operated from Gamal Abdel Nasser Air Base near Tobruk and have been used extensively in combat operations. At least 3 have been shot down or crashed since 1 January 2016. 27. As of 2017, the LNA possessed 14 MiG-21s, 27, of which 3 were dual-seat MiG-21 UMs. 28. Mali. Air Force of the Republic of Mali. 12 MiG-21 BIS and at least 4 MiG-21 UM were delivered from USSR, probably in 1985 or 1986, and 2 MiG-21 MF arrived in 2005 from the Czech Republic, along with another MiG-21 UM. 29. Mozambique. 48 MiG-21 BIS were delivered from the USSR starting in 1983, for use against the Renamo guerrillas. After the 1990 ceasefire they were all put into storage, and most of them had become unserviceable by 1992. 30. The Mozambique Air Force was listed as having 8 MiG-21s operational in December 2021. 31. North Korea. Korean People's Army Air Force. At least 200 MiG-21s, including 30 built in China, are generally accepted as having been delivered to the KPAF. By 1966-67, 80 MiG-21 F-13 were delivered, with the first 14 arriving in or before 1963. 65 MiG-21 PFM were delivered 1968, 1971 and 24 more in 1974. According to USCIA, By 1977 there were a total of 120 MiG-21s in DPRK, but by 1983 this number had dropped to 50. 150 MiG-21 PFM and MiG-21 MF were